Hello everybody, this is Purge. I'm bringing you a Hearthstone tournament. This is for Polaris. If you guys know what Polaris is, this is my YouTube network, and we're going to be playing a tournament. There's like 16 people in it. I've been playing since about October, so I think my decks are vaguely okay. And the way this works is we have 3 decks. If you lose with your deck, you have to choose one of the other 2 decks, and whoever runs out of decks first loses. So my 3 decks are a Shaman deck, my Druid deck here, and my Warlock deck. And I'm going to start off with my Shaman, because I think my Shaman is fairly okay across the base. And a little bit of backstory. I played with this guy a couple days ago in anticipation of this match. And the only deck I played was this Warlock deck that I threw together in 10 minutes, like 2 days earlier. Because I didn't want to show him one of my 3 decks. I was initially planning to play my Priest deck. And unfortunately, that deck ended up being so good that I really felt like I had to put it in. Like, my Priest deck was just not very strong, so I had to throw the cheese in. So, essentially, if you guys don't know how Hearthstone works, it's a card game, basically, and you try to best your opponents. And he's playing a Priest, which I have to be a little careful about and kind of figure out what I want to do with my moves. I think I'm going to dump my Dark Iron Dwarf as well and keep the other 2 cards, because I need some earlier cards. And this isn't the best hand. It's not horrible, but it's not very good. I kind of wish I had, I have a lot of nukes and board control, early board control in this deck, and unfortunately for me, I haven't gotten any yet. So this is actually a really good opening move for me. I can drop a, I'll just talk about stuff while I play, basically. I know a lot of you guys might be brand new to Hearthstone or confused why this is on my channel, but it's going to be a fun tournament, and hopefully I go pretty far. This guy seems pretty good though, so there's definitely a chance that I'll not beat him, but that's a really easy trade for me right here. I could drop the Flame Tongue to give this bonus damage, so if he dropped anything of 3 toughness, I would have gotten a really easy trade. But he's just doing that so that he can break my Divine Shield and get a card draw out of it, so I'm just going to kill it because I can. He gets a card draw out of it, but I don't have to feel that bad about it. And then I can use my hero power. So basically there's different classes, and every class has a different power, and that's a power that you get to use throughout the course of the match. So depending on what class you want, you have class-specific cards, so these are the ones with the different borders. This is going to do a nuke, and this will kill this guy. So it's a pretty good move. And yeah, this guy will heal up. It's going to be really hard for me to explain this as I do this, I think. Partially. I'm a little worried about this card being out. Unfortunately, I can't hit it with the Flame Tongue without my healing totem also dying. So that was actually a really good early move, to be honest. I think what I'm going to do is drop the Feral Spirits to get some Taunters out, and then I'll try to board control from there. This is going to hurt my next turn. I'll only have up to 3 mana, but that's okay because I have a coin. Well, 2 mana. There's so much stuff that you guys probably don't understand that I'm saying right now, but unfortunately there isn't a whole lot I can do about it because I need to, try to win this. It's so many things that I have to explain. I've barely, I'd have to explain Hearthstone basics and then talk about, strategy. So I think what I'm going to do from here on out, I'm just going to talk strategy. Alright, I still have to do some basics, because otherwise people who are brand new won't be able to enjoy this video, and I think that's important. So, okay. Board control is really important, so that means what you have existing on the board before you get to do anything else. So for example, if I have a creature on the board and then he gets to take a turn. Interesting. So he did that basically just to nuke everything for 1. If that's the end of his turn, okay. I don't really think that was that good of a play, personally. He basically did that so that he would have way more heal on that. But I can easily drop the Flame Tongue right now and not have to spend any extra mana, and I'm going to be able to kill one of them. And the way I'm going to do it is I put it in between so that these 2 things have bonus damage. And since one of them's going to die, I want this one to die so that this can also get damage. So I can trade here, that'll die, this will get bonus damage, and now I can do a total of 6 to the face. So that was a really good turn for me. So basically now that this is up, I have full heals on everything. I have lots of kill power. This is really good board control. So he basically is behind on board control, and he's also behind on HP, and he's also equal to me on cards, so I have a pretty good advantage right now. This is really good to start things off for me. Anyways, now that I have some downtime, I can talk about the Warlock deck. I basically didn't plan to play the Warlock deck, and I didn't want to show him any of my actual decks while we were just dicking around, and then it ended up being one of my actual decks, so I kind of feel a little unsure. So I know his decks are going to be a lot more board heavy. That's actually a really good for me that he played that. This basically is a draw 2 cards card. Takes 2 cards from his deck and puts it into his hand. So he's going to use the Rock Fighter. This is one of my cards that he got from this card. So he got kind of lucky here, because I actually do have a lot of board control. And he was able to clear my board slightly because of this. But even still, even though he got lucky there a little bit from his draw, it's still looking kind of okay for me. So I have a couple different things I could do. I could drop this guy and make him a 6/6 on the board, which I kind of want to do. There's a good chance that he'll just clear it really fast using a card, but it would cost him 3 mana, which would mean the rest of his turn would not be very strong. So I could also drop this guy and buff something else to do damage, but I think I would rather just drop this and see if I can bait out a big card from him. Because this creature is good, but I think this is just simply the best move I can do right now. Because if he doesn't have a Shadow Word Death, which is semi-unlikely, but it's possible, then he's going to take a ton of damage if he doesn't do something about this. And I also need to put a lot of pressure on before he gets to 10 mana, because when he gets to 10 mana, priests have this card called Mind Control, which takes one of your creatures and gives it to them. It costs 10 mana, it was recently nerfed to be worse, because the card is simply too good. So I guess he could also have a Hex, actually, because he played Thoughtsteal, and I have Hexes, which is another way to just wreck a creature, so... He's choosing to kill the Healing Ward first, and then he'll hit this and put it down to 1. So that's actually really solid for me. I have a really good shot of just winning at this point. I can do 3 damage here, 8 here, that's 11, so I can do a total of 11 damage if I wanted to. Or, if I really want to be annoying, I could cast this on the Flame Tongue. I don't think that's worth it, but...
What to do?
I think the best move I can do right now is play a little safe. And what I'm going to do is... put this guy down. I'm not going to waste Ancestral on this, because I think that's not worth it, but... I will do this.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
And probably buff this guy. Neither of those can attack this turn, so I think this is the best thing I can do. Oh yeah, and I can also spawn a totem. So I have a really, really good shot of winning right now. There's low chances that he'll be able to win. Because he basically has to kill everything on my board. He has to kill this. Oh yeah, this is the card that he drew, by the way. This is one of my cards that he was able to get. And that also, he played that last turn and has 2 Overload, which means he only has 5 out of 7 mana. So he only has 5 mana to clear my whole board right now, and there's pretty much no way that can happen. And I also have 3 damage from Fire Elemental. So basically, he has to make sure that I have less than 5 damage on my entire board, or he loses. And that's going to be very hard. He has to kill this, which he probably will with an attack. And then this will go down to 6 damage, and this will go down to 3 damage. And then he has to deal with a 6/6, a 3/2. He's going to nuke things and try to kill stuff, but yeah, he doesn't have the damage. So, he attacked once here. It's not over yet, actually. Oh, yeah, it is. It is over. So, I'm able to get him below max HP, and I absolutely wrecked him right there. So, that's a really good start. I didn't really get to see what his priest deck was supposed to be doing, but I had huge board control, so I basically just easily won it. I have to play the same deck again, and he has to shift decks now, so that way you can't just like dance around. So the reason I wanted to start off, basically my Shaman and my Druid deck are the really stable, good against everything, kind of like slow ramp up. That's a really bad hand. And I went first, which is, in my opinion, not very good. So he basically has to play a deck that he thinks he can beat my deck with. And there's a pretty good chance, since I was kind of a slow ramp-up, play-safe deck, there's a good chance that his deck will be pretty high aggression because it's a warrior deck. So I basically need to play stuff that is going to give me lots of really good early game presence. And I don't think I want the Mana Tide. This is actually a pretty good card, and normally I would keep it. But I just like really want early game spells, no matter what. And I got I got one. So this is good.
Greetings.
This isn't necessarily like the best possible starting hand, but it's pretty good. I have 2 control spells, and I can play this on turn 3. So my turn 1 is non-existent. My turn 2, I'll probably play a totem, and turn 3, I'll drop Feral Spirit. So unless he plays a bunch of creatures, in which case I can just Forked Lightning and kill. This does 2 damage to 2 random enemies. And he's going to War Axe, and he's going to do damage to me directly. So it says one of possible 2 things, more or less. Number 1, he's either really bad, because normally you don't use weapons to hit heroes, you use them to, do I want to drop this? I kind of do. You usually use, this is definitely a better play than the totem, by the way, I think. Usually you use weapons to hit creatures, not heroes, because clearing the board is a lot more important. Okay, this is why he played it. So he played the axe, so that he would get the bonus damage to the Bloodsail, which makes perfect sense. complete sense why he would do that. I think what I want to do is I want to Feral Spirit and trade the 1/1 into the 5/3. The reason I want to do that is because they have 2 damage, which means that if he does end up attacking the Taunters, he's for sure going to die, unless he has a way to buff up the toughness of the Bloodsail Raider. Which isn't that bad for me. And also, my next turn I'm going to have 2 mana, which would leave me with either a Totem or a Forked Lightning. So I think this is an okay plan. So yeah, it was perfectly fine what he did there. It made complete sense. Yeah, I think I do want to hit him. Just in case. This could go lots of different ways. You never really completely know what he'll do as a result. But, oh yeah, if you guys didn't figure it out yet, you can attack anything on the board. It's not like Magic the Gathering where you attack and they declare blockers. You attack based on whatever you want. Minions' health can't be reduced below 1. Okay, draws a card. So, I am not completely sure if that was worth it for him. He basically, I mean, he got a card from this card, so basically he's going to be able to hit 2 of my creatures instead of just 1, but I could also Lightning Bolt this if I want to just kill it, and I kind of want to just do that because otherwise, I mean, he has good cards right now, he has 5 cards. This would put me slightly behind in cards, and it would overload me, so it would put me at 4, which means I could do like a Forked and a Hex, or a Forked and a Mana Tide. So, or I could trade here, and I could Totem, and then next turn, or I could hit him directly, Totem, and then next turn have 5 mana, and possibly, but it's a lot safer usually to just control the board, so I think I'm just going to Lightning Bolt him. I like this, I'm not completely sure if this is right, but especially because he spent a card to save his card, and then I spent a card to get rid of it, so he should be a card ahead, and he is actually, it's turn 4 for him, and I'm coming up on my turn 5, so he's actually 2 cards ahead of me, but I have board control, so more or less he's about 1 card ahead of me. This card's really nasty, and you have to be really careful when you deal with it, so very likely I'm going to leave it on the board and I'm going to deal with it later. There's a chance that it's going to cost me about 4 HP or something like that, but I'm willing to take that risk. And I'm going to drop my Mana Tide Totem, because this is safe behind a taunt. So I'll get a card at the end of a turn here, no matter what. And I can hit him directly for 2 damage, and I should get at least 1 card. I get 1 card. Really good card. It clears the board, so this is really good, because I can be fairly safe against a barrage of creatures until later. So if he wants to kill this, he can. But it'll put him down to 2, and if he drops another creature, I can Fork Lightning. And then if I can do that and he can't kill my Mana Tide, then I'm going to get a 2nd card out of it, and that's really big. Alright.
Back to work.
So he does that to give this a bunch of bonus damage. That's going to kill that. And this is going to be able to attack as well, but it won't be able to kill my Mana Tide. So there's 2 ways that I could play this. I could play it the greedy way, or I could play it the safe way. I can easily kill, like ideally I would drop Fork Lightning, it would do 2 damage to this, and that would be beautiful. No matter what, I'm going to get another card out of this, which is great. I think I'm going to try to be greedy. I'll play Fork Lightning. If it zaps this guy and this guy, then I'll be okay. If it misses, then I have to Lightning Storm, because this can't survive. Like, no matter what, I can't keep that alive. Maybe I should not be greedy. I could if I Lightning Storm immediately, I can drop this. If I do this, I can then Lightning Storm and still do this. I think I'm going to try to be greedy because it's like the same mana no matter what. So,
What to do?
Let's see if we get lucky. Alright.
That was a mistake.
That was really unlucky. That was really unlucky. That was worst case scenario. So I'm going to now have to Lightning Storm to make sure that the board is cleared. On the bright side, I do get an extra card out of it because of the Mana Tide. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's pretty shitty. Kind of sucks. It basically kills a lot of my board clear. So, kind of sucks. Plus, I'm on major overloads. This means at max I can only Hex next turn. But I do get a card out of it, so it's not horrible, but it's unlucky. I could have gotten really lucky there. It does give me a possibility of another card, actually. So even that happening is not the worst. He's going to get to draw 1 card. He drew 1 card, so that means he's really desperate. This card, in the past I thought it was kind of good, but it's a little bad in my experience. It's not that great. Okay, so I got 3 mana here. I can either I can either hex this and kill it and retain board control in exchange for a hex card, or I can trade and drop this guy instead. And I think I want to drop this guy instead because there's a chance that he's going to have some big creatures later that I'm going to have trouble dealing with, so I'd rather just play it safe and continue to draw. Like, I'm basically trading a fairy dragon for a hex, and I think that's completely worth it. So I'm going to draw another card. So now I finally have card advantage over him, and I still have board control, which is really important. I have multiple ways to deal with problems on the board. I can Lava Burst for 5. He's finally going to stop my Mana Tide, but that took forever. I got like 4 cards out of it or something like that. So that was really, really good for me. And now I get to decide what to do. I think I'm going to end up hexing it since I have 2 hexes now. I could hex and drop the Frostwolf, which would give me a total of... that would be a 6/6, which I think is pretty worth it. So I think I'm going to hex, drop the... I could also give this guy +1/+1 and trade, and keep him alive with 1 HP, but I'm not a huge fan of that. I would rather hex and continue. So I'm going to hex. That's going to be a 0/1 taunt, which I'm going to kill, and then I'm going to drop this to give me a big creature that actually is going to threaten him. I don't get any cards anymore, which kind of sucks, but... and we're actually more or less even on cards, but I still have really, really big board control. That's really... oh, he doesn't have Wind Fury. Okay, I was going to say, I was like, does that guy have Wind Fury? If so, I'm going to get really screwed here. So this isn't too bad for me. Charge and Rage. So he's a big creature that I have to deal with. His idea is that I'm going to have to trade here, but that's not at all the case because I can either... I can actually Lava Burst and Flame Tongue if I want to, or I could Hex it. I'm going to save... I'm going to do Lava Burst, I think, even though it costs me a lot more mana. It's 5 compared to 3, because even still, Hex is going to be very useful later. Lava Burst kills stuff a little bit less reliably, so I'm going to drop this. I'm going to Lava Burst. That's 5, and then I have 4 left over, so I can Totem. And I think it's about time that I Totem, honestly. Yeah, alright, so I'm going to do this. Flame Tongue, this gives everything +2 damage on sideways stuff. And I'm going to hit this. And I'm going to drop a Totem. I should have... oh, I guess it didn't matter. And now I'm going to do the damage to Grom here. So I kill him. That costs me some mana later, but I can finally hit him for a lot of damage. And I still have board control. Still have board control. So if he has a way to kill this, I'm going to be in kind of a bad spot because I don't really have any big creatures left in my hands, but...
blood and plunder.
Now he's kind of desperation throwing stuff out. Ooh. I want to play that, and I'm probably going to. It has extra damage because of the spell power thing that I have out. So I think I'm just going to nuke. It will kill this guy. It will do a lot of damage to this guy. And then I'm going to buff something, probably. I'll probably play this immediately afterwards. So, a Lightning Storm. That'll kill the taunt. I can either hit this and have life left over. Well, first what I'll do... if I get a healer, I'm going to trade. Alright, I don't have a healer, but I have a taunt. So this means it's absolutely worth it for me to do this. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to drop this so that it gets the bonus. And I'm going to buff up the damage on... we'll say this guy, because I want his HP to be higher. And now I'm going to hit him directly. So now I'm really, really far ahead. I extended my board control. I killed one of his threats. And based on my taunter, I can make a different decision. If I would have got a healing creep, or there's a healing taunt. If I would have gotten a healing taunter, then I probably, what I would have done was, these are really scary. I could lose right here. Oh my god. I'm going to lose, I think. It's going to be really close. Okay, I'm not going to lose. But it's really close. This is really bad. This is really bad. That's basically the purpose of the whole deck, is he waits until he gets really, really low on HP. This is really bad. He waits till he gets really low on HP, and then he drops all these Molten. This is really unlucky for me, by the way. There's only 2 of these in the deck, and he had both in his hand. So he waited until he got really low, and then he dropped 2 8/8s for 0. So I got really screwed here. I'm not like really screwed, like this is the point of his deck, but... so what I'm going to have to do is I could Bloodlust my dude to give him 3 damage. So that's 8, 11, 13 damage. I'm going to basically have to play almost all my cards to break even here. So I'm going to Bloodlust first. I'm going to kill this 4-2. And then I'm going to Hex the 8-5. So this sucks. But I'm basically... Ooh, I could actually... You know what I should do? I'll kill the 8-2. So I'll kill the 8-2. I'm going to Hex the 8-5. And now I have to try to come back. So this is what I got to work with. This is way better than I thought it was going to be, because I forgot about killing the A2. I'm so glad I didn't kill the 4-2. Oh my god, that would have been bad. Alright. Unfortunately, because I didn't kill this, now his weapon has an extra 2 damage, because this enrages into more damage. So I'm still going to take a lot. 3, 7, 8, 9. So I basically have 1 turn to try to win or board clear. If I don't draw... I've already used a Lightning Storm, I'm going to lose for sure. So I lose. I'm going to lose this game. Guaranteed. So this is basically all I can do, and it's not going to be enough. I will lose. I'm going to lose this game for sure. So I got a little unlucky basically because he happened to have both Molten Giants. If he only had one, I maybe could have won, but the only thing that I could have drawn there that would have won me the game would have been a Lightning Storm, and my Lightning Storms were gone because I used both already, so I was going to lose that game. So that was a pretty good game by him. Definitely a bit of a cheesy deck, kind of, because it's like, it kind of counters what my decks are good at, which is just board control, board control, board control, and then he throws down a bunch of creatures, and then he just stomps you. So, because of that, I'm going to try not to play my Druid deck. My Druid deck is very good, but it's kind of similar to my Shaman, is that you retain board control and card advantage. But the problem is that he just wants to do like this 1 turn, throw everything on the board, and I wouldn't be able to deal with that. So I think I'm going to have to try to rush it down and beat it with my Warlock deck, because I just don't think the deck that he has is fairly strong. Like, the Molten Giant thing, like, it's so scary to drop 2 8/8 charge on the same turn, plus, like, a few other things. Like, it's so hard to deal with. So I have to try to rush him down. I think I have a pretty good chance of beating him with this rush deck. And in fact, my starting hand is quite good. It's pretty darn good. So I think I have an okay chance of this working. We'll see, though. He might just drop... I maybe should have picked a different card.
Greetings.
I greet you.
I'm not sure. We'll see. He might have a weapon. If he has a weapon, I would be willing to trade this for that. So I think I'm going to drop this. Do I want to do Blood Imp first? This gives my other stuff health that doesn't attack, and this is more of like a preparatory. I think I'm going to drop this. I'm not sure if this is the right choice. It basically comes down to whether or not he has a weapon. If he has a weapon, he'll probably play it and kill my creature. Otherwise, things might be a bit harder. So, a little sad my Shaman deck lost. My Shaman deck is pretty legit, I think. So he didn't play anything, which means he either didn't want to kill it or he didn't have a weapon. So I'm going to play a creature that draws me a card, and I'm going to attack him directly. So this is kind of where the board control starts. So I already have board control. They're not very strong creatures, but they are creatures that can do something. And if he plays anything good, I'm just going to buff one of my creatures, +4/+4, and kill it. And that's perfect. This is exactly what I want to happen. So I played a weak creature, it drew me a card. I'm going to play a card that will kill it. So basically I'm killing 2 cards. I'm killing 1 card in exchange for 1 card, if I'm not mistaken, and I still have board control. So that's 1. I'll have 2 left over for the rest of the turn, and whatever I want to play. I'll probably play Knife Juggler to set up my follow-up turns. Or I could play this, which is probably what I will do, actually. So instead I'm going to do this. I'll give this +4/+4, because I really want to kill this. This gets really scary fast. That's going to die at the end of the turn. And I'll play this, because this is going to give this 2 damage, because it gets +1 damage permanently just by playing a Murloc, and it gets +1 at all times if the other Murloc's alive. So now I'll attack him and end the turn. So, starts off, I should have placed this differently. I should have put this in between. You never want to put the Blood Imp in the middle of your other creatures, because it messes up your buffers later. So he can't do anything this turn, which means that I have time to do whatever I want, which is good for me. So I'm going to drop... I have to be a little careful about a big creature coming out. I can either start some Snowball, or... I guess... This will do 1 damage, plus I'll get bonus damage. This would protect me against a big creature that could really ruin my day next round. I think I'm going to play it a little safe here. I'll put this here, and I'll put this here. So this gives him bonus damage, and yeah. so he's starting to get a little work down. It's not that bad though, and I'm almost out of cards. Now, the Warlock hero power, which I haven't used yet, it costs me 2 mana, and I take 2 damage. And yeah, this is a really good creature for him to play, actually. It helps him clear the board a lot. Okay, I got a pretty lucky draw there. This might help me trade more evenly, but basically this card helps him deal with small stuff, because it gives him a 2 damage weapon, which is great for all of my creatures. So I'm going to play this first. So now when I summon a unit, it does damage to an enemy, and now I'm going to play this guy, which gives me 2 creatures, so there's a good chance that I can hit this at least once. And this is going to get heavily buffed up as well. So we'll see if I get lucky here. Alright, I got lucky, we're all good. I would have preferred it only hit him once, but it doesn't matter that much, so I can trade this for this now. And I can continue to nail on him, to wail on him. And I got 2 more damage on this guy because of summoning this, so it's basically just a big combo deck. You combo all the cards together and cool stuff happens. He could still win this. It's possible, guys. Alright, he's about to clear my board or something. Okay. He did this last time we played as well. He drew Brawl. It's pretty unlucky. It kills all my creatures but 1. All these die. So, it's pretty unlucky, actually. He drew... I asked him last night. He only had 1 of these in his whole deck. He only had 1 of these cards in his whole deck. And he happened to have it again. So it kills all my creatures. And I could have gotten lucky on the creature that came out, but I didn't, so... Alright, so now that I'm out of cards, I'm basically just going to start playing shit again. There's a good chance that I'll lose now because his Brawl cleared my board and I had so much stuff out. I maybe shouldn't have played so many extra cards. I don't know. I think actually my plays were really good there. Just, I got unlucky that he had Brawl and he felt bad, which is why he said sorry. This card really dicks me, but luckily for me, I'm going to get some bonus damage here. When this creature dies, I'll get +1, so I can now kill his Taunter if I want to. And before I play anything else, I want to decide what I want to do, so... I kind of have to just play stuff, honestly, so I'm going to drop both things down. This will do 1 damage to something. I didn't really want it to be that, honestly, but I kind of have to kill this, I think. He's going to be able to clear the board no matter what, I think, so I just kind of... He's going to be able to hit this, and this. He'll have a 3-1 left over, which is sucky. If I wait for him to attack, he'll get some board control. I think I have to just kill it, honestly. Like, literally, this deck is pretty much about just, like, not getting board controlled, and he ended up board controlling me. Like, it's the one card in his deck, as far as I'm aware, that could do that to me, and he was able to board control, and that was, like, right before I stomped the game, basically. Alright, that was the... Okay, yeah, that was gonna happen, sorry. On the bright side, he's taking a lot of damage from the weapons. Alright, this is really unfortunate. There's a good shot that he'll be able to just beast me down, but... Drop this first. And I'm gonna buff it. I have to get creatures on the board, it's the only thing I can do. So this weapon is really, really good. It basically, every time he attacks a minion, it does 1 less attack instead of durability, which means you can basically clear the board so many times. But it doesn't give, like, a warrior doesn't have that much HP left in this situation because he's been trading, like, weapon hits on my creatures so much. So basically, he's going to be able to clear the board, but it's going to cost him 3 HP.
Now?
So he'll be down to 6, his board will be empty, and then he'll play whatever he's got. He's going to get 2 cards for that. I think I'm going to lose this game, pretty sure, but there's a chance that I could win this. We'll see what he plays. He might have the big dudes again. Alright, that's gonna really crap on me. He got 7 damage for this guy now, because he has a big weapon out. This deck's actually very good of his. It's not just about cheese, basically. It does a lot of things. He has to kill this, otherwise I'll kill his 9/3. And he will attack it, guaranteed. So he's going to take 3 more damage. I basically have to do 6 damage to win the game. And I do have some chargers, but nothing really big. And oh yeah, I forgot this has charge, so that really sucks. There's a pretty good chance I'll just lose next turn. 9, 11, plus 6, yes. So basically I have to win right now or I lose. And I'm going to lose. I lost. Damn it, his decks are actually very good. This deck that he built is very strong. So it's going to come down to whether or not my Druid can clutch it, because I couldn't beat him with my cheese deck. I thought I was going to be able to do it, but he got lucky on the Brawl and I ended up losing. So... Not good. Not good, guys. His Brawl clearing my board just completely dicked me. That was his whole, like, literally, it was 1 card, he had drawn 1/3 of his deck and he had it. So that's fairly unlucky for me. Fairly unlucky. So I'm on to my last deck. If I don't beat him, I have to beat 2 of his decks with my Druid deck, or I lose. And so far, his warrior deck is really strong. His warrior deck is very strong. I think, I don't know. I feel like I got a little unlucky both games because he happened to have the magma, both of those magma things, but... Oh god, I got the worst. I got literally the worst draw ever. This deck has very, very high cost creatures, so... I'm going to definitely want some taunt this game, I think. You know, I'm just going to do a whole new hand, I believe, because... This card is good, but it's 5, and I'm worried about early game control. So I'm just going to get a whole new hand because I want to get some good early game stuff. And this might help. I also have a coin. I really like going second with my Druid deck here. So he hasn't seen my Druid deck at all. He has no idea what's going to be in here. I actually don't have early game creatures. I got a little unlucky. I don't have the best early game stuff in this deck. It's more like a mid game. It really focuses on mid game things more than early game. So he doesn't have anything either. He's just going to bide his time. This is pretty good for me, actually. Can gain an empty mana crystal. So, yeah, and that's it for my turn. And next turn I can drop an Azure Drake on basically turn 3. Which is really good, actually. That's a little scary for me to deal with. I might... Alright, I'm just going to drop a Yeti instead. Because there's a really good... Oh, wait. I could also do a Wraith to him. That's 1 damage. I could kill it and then have 3 mana left over. So I either kill the Wraith, or I drop a Chillwind, or use a Wraith to kill it. I think I would rather use a Wraith, because I have 2, and I'd rather save my creatures. Like, I have creatures, but I would rather do it like this, I think. Technically, getting into late game is pretty good for me, because I have a lot of big creatures, but I'm also very scared about his late game, to be honest. So I'm not really sure completely what to do. I think his early game is actually really weak on his deck. But it didn't really seem like that in the last game, that's for sure. So now I can Wraith that, and I can also drop a Chillwind. Yeah, a Chillwind. So I will Wraith this again. Again, I'm trading 1 card for 1 card, which is fine for me. And now I'm finally going to get board control. So I now finally have board control. I finally have a creature out that he has to react to, whereas in the past I was always reacting. So this is okay for me. We'll see what he does to deal with it. A 4/5 for 4 is actually really strong. It's a great card. He's going to force me to trade, which is fine with me. I'm okay doing this because it's going to leave one of my creatures alive, and I'm going to be able to snowball slightly. So I'm going to hit this, and I'm going to drop an Azure Drake. This draws me a card and it gives me spell damage, so it means my nukes do more damage. So Starfire will do more damage, Swipe will do more damage. So this is pretty good for me. If he has a way to kill both of my creatures, that would be really scary, but I'm trying to think about what it is. I'm not completely sure. Again, his deck gets really scary when he gets below... when he gets lower HP. So that's where I'm going to have to worry. He killed my spell power, but I still have a 4/4 because he silenced it, so this isn't that bad. And this actually did very little. Basically, okay, this is really good. I got pretty lucky on my top deck. I'm going to basically be able to clear the board and still have 2 4/4 creatures, or 4 damage creatures out. I'm a bit worried because I don't have a Taunter, that he could do some weird stuff, but he won't be able to play his Molten Giants just yet, because it has to be below 20 HP before you can play those. So I'm going to probably do a Bite, kill a Silencer thing, and then that'll be the end of my turn. I could hit harder with the Roar, but I think I'm not going to want to do that. So I'm just going to Bite here. Gives me 4 damage and 4 armor, and put some extra on there just so I can have more toughness for free. And now I'm going to hit him. So this is the benefit of having board control. It's like, I can now clear, like, you can only play 1 thing a turn, right? So if you can slowly get an advantage, then you have this big board of stuff, and you can do more things with it. So I'm able to clear his board again in exchange for 1 card, and still have some leftover armor. I ended up profiting 1 armor out of that, and I did damage to him. So now he's going to start doing things. Here comes the... Alright, so he did this. He probably wants to save the Warsong Commander, but he's kind of in panic mode. He like really needs to clear the board because he knows that he's about to get behind. So he had to charge the Taunter to kill my 4/2. So now what I can do, I can either clear the board, or I can play it a little greedy and go for a... Ooh, that's what I want to do. I could play a Taunter, I could play some creatures. I think I'm going to do a Savage Roar with this to clear the board while playing a creature, which basically gives me 6 damage to him and clears the board again for 1 card, which I think is pretty good. And I can also drop down this guy which I can use later. That's 5. Yeah, unfortunately, really wish I could drop one of these in addition to doing this, but I don't think I can. So I either hit this and keep some low HP. Maybe I should do that. I think I should do this instead. I think this is the safer move.
Where shall I
I'm going to drop a taunter. I'm going to hit this guy to clear the board a bit. I'm also going to drop this guy, and I'm going to hit him. So this spends my mana much better. It gives me way more board control. The downside is that it makes me a lot more vulnerable to Brawl. He has a much better chance of just wrecking my entire board with Brawl. But he's going to draw 1 card, because he's getting a little uneasy. He's got a weapon, but he can only attack my Taunter, so that's a good thing about dropping the Taunter. He's going to again draw another card because he's really panicked. That's really lucky for me that he had both of these in his hands, because it means that he didn't have very many cards. So he's basically in a really bad spot. He doesn't have very many cards, and I can do 5 damage. I'm getting really close to just crapping on him. And I really want to, because I don't want to lose this. I'm also a little scared whether I should just... I could, like, roar... I don't want to play another creature, because I already have big board control, and if he plays Brawl again, I'm just going to lose. So I think I'm going to Savage Roar and maybe Starfire. So I could do 8, 9, 10. Plus 6 is 16. I could do 18. I could do 23 damage this turn, which I'm definitely going to do. So I'm going to do Savage Roar. So I'm going to hit him for as much damage as I can. I think I win. Unless he can win next turn, I win.
Job's done.
So this puts him at 3. And the only way that he can survive, the only possible way, is if he can give himself more than... I can do 9 damage next turn guaranteed against a warrior. He can't counter my spells or anything. So he needs to get 6 armor at least, or he loses, guaranteed. That's the only way he can win. So I absolutely stomped him this game. I don't know if he got a bad draw or what, but I absolutely stomped him. I don't think he can win. I can't think of any cards that he could play that would make him win. Other than, like...
Well played.
Well played.
I just don't think there's a way he can beat me here. Even if all of those got charged, I just don't see it happening. So, he knew there was no way that he could win, so he suicided, basically. That's really close. Well, that game was not close, but I'm like... I mean, if I lose a game, I lose. So that's the scary part. I'm really glad that I'm also relying on one of my other decks and not relying on my Warlock deck, because if I had to rely on my Warlock deck on the last game, I would be scared, because that was the only deck that I had revealed to him. So, I'm playing against a Warlock deck. There's a really good chance that he's doing a Rush. I can't remember, I got lucky on the swipe draw. This is a really, really good card against Rush decks. I don't want this early, right away, obviously, because I can't play it until turn 8. I kind of want to keep all of these cards, but the problem is that I need more early game. So I need to sacrifice either the Keeper or the Chillwind. And I think I'm going to sacrifice the Chillwind. And that's basically because on turn 3 I could do 2 damage to a creature, whereas the Chillwind, would be a creature on the board, but it wouldn't be board clearing. So this guarantees that I can board clear by turn 3, which makes me a little safer. I'm going to definitely coin my creature out.
It's time for a little
This card's really good. If it takes any damage, it gets bonus 3 damage. So that means if he drops something with 2 toughness or something with 1 toughness, I can just kill it really easily. So it's basically like an anti-play anything card. So I don't know what his deck has, but if it's at all early rush, that means that he knows that he has a card that I could counter with my Berserker. So there's no point for him to play anything. So my next choice is I either can taunt up. I can give my Berserker +2/+2 and taunt, or I can attack him for 1. And because I don't really want to reveal my hand just yet, I'm just going to hit him for damage. And the downside to this move is that I can't hit him for an extra 2 damage this turn, and there's a chance that he could just nuke down my guy right now. So I have to. It's a little scary to do this, but it's like a safer play to not play Mark of the Wild yet. If I play the Mark of the Wild and he kills my creature with some spell, then I get screwed, basically. Alright, he's going to buff his creature up. This actually isn't going to help him. He thinks it is, but it's not going to. And that's because I can now buff up my guy. He wasn't necessarily expecting this. He's like, okay, I have a creature that kills yours, but I can give my creature the same buff. And that means I'm going to be basically where we started the last round, except I also will have 3 damage on my dude. This is really, really good for me. So I give this guy +2/+2. He becomes a 4/5. I can now kill his creature. I get bonus damage. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was going to kill that. Whoops. Alright, well, my mistake. I forgot he had so much toughness. Well, I'm wrong, but I thought I was going to kill that.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. I would have done the same play regardless, even if I knew that was going to happen. So he's now going to trade these. We basically broke even on those cards. We spent 2 cards for 2 cards, but I came out 5 damage ahead, which is okay. It's an okay advantage, but it's not amazing. So now I'm a bit unsure what I want to do. This isn't really a good round for me, so this kind of sucks. I don't really have a good option, is the problem. I wish I had a Chillwind Yeti right here. A Chillwind Yeti would be really good, but I don't have one. That's the 4 cost for a 4/5. I don't want to bite because it won't kill his thing. It'll leave it with 1 HP. And I could bite though. I might end up just biting. Or I could drop this and silence or do 2 damage. Those are my moves. I unfortunately can't play either of these, so I got a little unlucky, and I definitely want to save the swipe. I don't really want to play this, so I think my best move is honestly just possibly biting. Should I bite him and hit him? I think that's the best move. It's going to cost me 2 mana in the next turn, and next turn I would have 3 left over. It's not a good move, I don't think. I think I'm just going to buff this and give him board control. I don't... It's really unfortunate. That round right there was really inefficient for me, and that might cause me to lose a lot. He is drawing a lot of cards. He kind of likes cheesy combo decks, so I'm not a really... I don't think this is a rush deck, as is quite obvious, but... I'm gonna drop this. Taunters are a really good way to retain some board control, or get some board control back. So because I can't attack, I'm gonna drop a Taunter, which forces him to attack me. It also has way more toughness than he has damage. He very wisely is gonna do 4 damage here. If he trades, it's fine, because I was gonna do that anyways. That's not bad. This is gonna cost me 2 mana and 1 HP. Ooh, okay. I'm really glad that I drew the Claw here. Actually, it's still efficient. If I didn't draw the Claw, then I'd have to play a 4-cost something, which I don't really have a 4-cost creature. So this way I can play the Drake, which draws me a card, gives me spell damage, and I can now play the Claw to kill his dude. So again, I still broke out 2 cards for 2 cards there, but I've regained board control. Because he used Shadow Bolt and a creature to kill my 4/6, and I used a creature. I used the Claw and my creature damage to kill his. So we broke even, but now I have board control again, and I have spell power. So if he plays any creatures now, there's a really good chance that I can just completely destroy them. I can do 5 damage with Swipe, or AoE of 2, or I can Starfire for 6. So he's going to do 2 damage to me. This is fine. I'm not worried about this, because he's basically just trying to board control. So I'm just going to hit it. This does 2 damage to all characters. So this basically means I'm going to lose the Azure Drake, which is fine at this point. So I'm going to trade, and then I'm going to drop my Ancient of War. The real question is, do I want to give it +5 damage or +5 health? And I'm not completely sure. I know that there are some demon cards that do... This could be like the decision that wins or loses me the game, honestly. If I do +5 attack, it's a lot of damage. If he doesn't have a way to board control this immediately, I'm gonna win, because I can board control really good. I have like 5 board control cards in my hand, so I think I'm gonna play greedy. Maybe I shouldn't, because even if I go taunt, I could still nuke him down pretty fast. 5, 9, 13. I have so much nuke in my hand. He also has heal possibilities. Alright, I'm going to play it safe. The only reason I'm going defense over attack is because I have so much nuke power in my hand. If I had a bunch of creatures, I would drop the 10-5 in hopes that... because I would have other creatures if I lost it. But in this case, I don't really have that many creatures. And there it is. That's the exact card that I was scared that he would have. So no matter what, he was going to kill that. Because it's one of the few Warlock cards that actually kills a creature. So that sucks for me that he had it, but whatever, basically. I'm going to continue getting board control, so I'm going to drop an 8/8 taunt, which I just top-decked, a little lucky for me. We'll see what he does now. It's unfortunate I wasn't able to do damage there, because I was getting pretty close to some advantage. Alright. So he's dropping a lot of stuff because he's trying to get board control back. And if he doesn't have good single target control anymore, which is revealed by his hand, then he needs a good way to deal with things. So I'm probably just going to Starfire this big guy. I actually have 3 leftover mana after that, which means I don't really want to drop this guy. I could... It's not really worth dropping that guy either, actually. You know what I should do is probably just swipe, since I have 2 swipes. I'll swipe him, and then that'll give me 5 more mana, which means I can drop both of these. Which he can't kill both of them. He'll just be able to kill one. Or I could bite. I could bite swipe. Alright, I'm going to bite swipe. So I'll swipe this guy. I'm going to bite to kill the Taz Dingo or the Sinjin and Shield Masta. So I'm trading 1 card for 1, 1 card for 1, more or less. And now I'm forced to do this. But we're right back where we started. And I basically traded 2 cards for 3 there. Because this guy killed 1. He's by far away from dead. And now he's in panic mode. Like, he played all of his taunters in 1 turn. Because he was worried about dying. And now he has to play everything. So now he's going to play a lot of heal stuff. And he does have a lot of heal creatures, actually. So... slightly annoying for me. This is actually a creature on the deck. That's a completely worthless card that does absolutely nothing for me, so that's a little unfortunate. What if I do... I could swipe and Keeper with Hero Power, and that's what I'm going to do. I'll swipe this guy. Keeper is going to kill the 3/3, and then I will Hero Power kill this. Or I could Starfire 6... 10, that's too much. I think I'm gonna swipe Keeper Hero Power for damage. Gives me worse board control, but it would save my Starfire. If I play the Starfire... Like, I basically just want to keep this guy as alive as possible, because I don't think he has that many more of those Siphon things, and if he does, he only has 1. And he's only halfway through his deck. So I think I'm gonna swipe... Oh god, that scared me. Is this right? Yeah, 4, 8, 12, okay. Alright, do that. Play this. And do 2 damage to this guy. Don't bug out. Alright. And then I can do this. So I'm gonna end up taking 2 actual damage, but I get to hit him for 8. So... Still, again, still have the big guy on the board, still have board control, I still have a single way to deal with his creatures, so I'm definitely running out of steam here, because I have less options to do it efficiently, basically. And he still has a lot of heals. I remember this deck now, he had tons of heals in it. But that's, if this is all he can do for this turn, it's not very good. He's going to keep drawing cards from this. That's one nice thing about heals on that kind of a deck. Alright, now that I have 2 of these, I'm probably going to use one a little inefficiently here. Because I just want to make sure he has as little damage as possible. I'm going to clear the board. Oops, actually don't necessarily want to clear the board like that. I'm going to do it like this instead. I'll drop a creature. I'm going to Hero Power, because I have tons of expendable HP. And I just want to keep the board in my favor. So I put him 10 more damage lower, and I also save 2 toughness for my Keeper. It's easily worth it for me to lose 10 HP, or... to lose 1 HP technically on my hero than it is to lose 2 on here. So, even if he kills... Okay, that's a really good way for him to deal with what's going on. He could possibly win like this. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys, not again. God, those Molten Giants are so annoying when he plays them like these. He was just waiting for me to get to 10. He basically has 2 decks that counter my playstyle, which is safe. I play very safe, and he has 2 decks that counter my playstyle. He just cleared the board. God, I'm so mad right now. It's freaking Molten Giants, guys. He's been waiting to do this shit all game. Okay. What can I do about this? I can't kill anything with Starfire. So I basically have to drop as many creatures as possible that's going to make him think twice about trying to end the game. So I basically just need as many creatures as possible on the board, because I need to catch up. I'm going to be able to do this guy, and I have to play Wrath immediately. Alright, if I kill these 2 creatures, I think I'll win the game, maybe, depending on what else he has in the deck, because these are the big hitters in all of his decks. I did 4 damage there because it makes 1 less creature. Okay, that's really unfortunate. Really unfortunate.
Someone called the doctor.
He has a lot of ways to deal with this. Okay. He very wisely hit me directly instead of trading. I'm probably gonna lose. I'm gonna lose, guys. How sad are you? I'm really sad, actually. His decks are actually really solid, though. He could go very far, I think, but his decks are very solid. I'm gonna lose, though, I think. I think it's over. This cheese, man. He has this, like, late game cheese. I'm so salty right now. Okay, I can do this to kill that. And that's it. I basically can only kill 1 creature. I can't kill both. Pretty sure. I think that's it. 6.
What to do?
Well, let's kill this and see if I get any, like, fantastic cards. Well, that's it, guys.
Well played. Well played.
Damn, those late game cheese. I'm so salty. So salty. Oh my god. Well, I lost. I lost first round. Oh, the late game cheese. I lose 2 games to the late game cheese. He had literally 2 decks that beat my playstyle. He had 2 decks that beat my playstyle. Alright. I need to quit it here. Alright, sorry guys, I lost. I thought I was gonna bring glory to the Dota scene. That's him bragging right now. Alright, I'll see you guys later, bye. I'm so salty.